Most of it smoking. Eventually, he left that for a while. I think he just couldn't stand to keep seeing a younger version. Never mind, he wasn't blonde then. So, hello, people. It's bright and early, and I'm going to multitask here. Just quickly got to go do something very quickly. I know sometimes it happens, but I hit record too, or sometimes I've been rolling for an hour. The dog just came up to the couch, but well, I can't fully blame Glenn. I woke up, and it's one of those things, I said, I don't know if you heard, but it's kind of like I have all day to think. I have all day to do stuff online, pretty much. Things have been a bit of a slow, stuck, stagnant. Well, yeah, chapstick. But, and yet I find myself still thinking. And then I feel like I slowed down a little bit with it, but we got something going on. So he kind of started up again with it. Oh, one other thing I just wanted. Oh, wait a minute. I have that in here. Okay. And this was not one to reach out, though. Just like it says that the sister isn't one to reach out for help. Both of them, kind of. But the other one gets a little bit more panic. Now, I just realized that I don't know. I'm almost kind of chilly, but yet not. So I don't know. I guess I don't need socks right now. But it's 8:11 on the way to work. And part of me does not. I guess you can't see that. Oh, that's one. It's funny because he was just talking about what's going on there. And we do have someone. It was kind of one of those things. It's kind of like I didn't know whether, but that's the thing is they don't sometimes stay for more than a few. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's that they can't hear me. I mean, I talk pretty loud. I mean, heck, sometimes I watch videos and they'll have you be using a mic. I'm like, yeah, I still can't hear them. Or a lot of times, because I also watch a lot of videos where people don't use mics or headphones, and I can hear them just fine. I know there's noise canceling, I suppose, and it's kind of like I just, it can vary. But thinking about how these often are quite quiet. But somebody is here, and I just wanted, I guess, what it was. I called it positives. I think you call it a comma, but I also feel like it could be called an apostrophe. Life, and I think in a way, as the viewer goes, that's a good title because I mean, whether people are just looking for more, like positivity, or they're going through a hard time and they want the positivity and they're having a hard time with that. And I mean, I'm human too, but life is a challenge sometimes. I don't know how long the wait's going to be here, and I don't know how long it's going to be before somebody tunes in there. I won't really, for people that watch after the fact, I won't be able to really multitask once I get someone that's early in the morning, but that may not matter. But hi, good morning. Ryan, did you say? Hi, my name's Corey. How are you? Okay, I guess it's early, but the brain's been kind of active. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry, the phone just made a noise. Yeah, and basically, well, I mean, it's actually kind of interesting. Your first name being Brian, that's my step's first name. We're not exactly super close, but he's been going through some health things, and my mother kind of too. But the most recent one is my spouse's sister, and basically, we're feeling very mixed. I mean, honest and truly, I mean, we don't have a lot of local family, and and well, even living family at this point. And even if this situation that we're going through had been with somebody who lived in the city, and sorry if there's a bit of a rattle on the line, I'm hearing it. Anyway, it would still have been a little challenging, perhaps, in various ways. But this is someone that lives kind of in BC, and basically we don't travel very much, and we've been thinking about ways that we could try and make it doable, but we're not entirely sure. And I don't know, like my spouse today was kind of this morning before leaving for work was kind of saying something about how basically the sister there has well, she's had for a few years some various health problems, which I'm surprised that she's actually. I mean, we're not actually in a lot of contact, and I do and don't feel like I really know the reasons for it. I mean, nothing really has happened. Um, it's kind of, yeah, it is kind of confusing. Anywho, and basically, like I guess I don't think we're supposed to be one to call these lines. I don't even do it as much as I used to, but I mean, I've still been kind of struggling with various things. But basically, it's kind of like was saying this morning, like that aside from the difficulties of traveling, I mean, we wouldn't really be able to afford to stay anywhere, and feel like the sister probably has an extra room or two. And I mean, if she's accommodating, couples, then she doesn't need to have, you know, rooms for four people. Um, and but I suppose did happen to blurt out, and it kind of makes sense that it's really going to be whether she wants to have us. I guess I would say stay with her, but possibly even being there when she's kind of because, and I somewhat actually relate to this myself, or feel like I have been lately, but it's kind of like my first was like I don't even know the sister very well, but was reminding that she's pretty independent and that she I don't know doesn't like to I guess talk about these kind of things even with family. I mean I guess a big reason that makes sense is not wanting to worry people. However, I guess I think the source was saying that the other sister said that this one's daughter kind of made her uh, open up a little bit. And so, but my spouse has also been saying that she has, the sister has like two or three, um, at least in the same province, um, adult kids. And I wasn't surprised to hear that kind of said that it I think it was maybe partly said in the sense of like not feeling as much of a burden or weight from it, but kind of was saying, that it really should be their responsibility, um, firstly, and like I say, it's also like I don't think we are in a position where we could just say, I mean, we would, I think, mostly not be offended if she said it didn't want us staying in the house. But I don't think we're in a position to manage to stay anywhere else. I don't know about this person's this woman's kids and if they can accommodate or not. And I don't, this is the way our family is, or my spouse's family. So basically, and I even tried to tell myself this morning, like, um, I guess in a way you kind of just got to let it unfold because I could see it happening, and I'm sure my spouse must as well, and the other sibling in that. I could see it happening where um, we either go there, have a nice time, and then she passes away. Don't go there and she passes away. Go there and she doesn't pass away, anytime soon. I mean, there's so many variables and uncertainties, and 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 I don't know if she's. It sounds like maybe she has a bit of Alzheimer's. I don't know if she's going in and out of consciousness or not. She's still in the home. I think. I don't think she's in a hospital. And it's kind of like I don't know if she like is like if we choose to believe that, if she is dipping out of in and out of consciousness, that she might be picking up on, or just in general, might be kind of, especially if she knows that some people know now, and we've told a couple of people since, actually, that are, I guess, kind of in the family, because I don't know, it just feels like the thing to do sometimes, in these moments. And so basically, um, which may or may not have, it's true. It also puts more stress on the person that's having this. I mean, in a way, in some ways, it can be nice to know that people are, I guess, worried or wanting to help. But I mean, also, in like in this instance, I mean, not being local to her makes it harder to be able to help. And if we went, that would be one thing that my spouse would want to do. I mean, like I say, I honestly don't know how the sister has made it uh, to this point, even because, let's see, a couple of years ago, maybe three, she had a tracheotomy, I think they're called, and then about a year after that, maybe almost two, she had a stroke and it gave her vision problem. And I never knew whether that was um, permanent or just a temporary kind of um, reaction, or whatever we want to call it. And I guess I still don't know. I mean, my spouse is also realizing, we go there and to expect that she's not going to be the necessarily the same person uh, that my spouse especially remembers, and even that I remember. I've met her a couple of times. So I mean, we can have all these realizations, but it's kind of like, and then the other part of it is too. I feel like my spouse is going a bit back and forth, but is maybe a bit more leaning on, maybe not going, or at least letting it be up to the one who we have to, the sister with the struggles going on, and that I guess that gives me mixed feelings in the sense that, um, well, even though some of like her kids I've never met, um, and like I say, I haven't met her very much either, but there's a part of me, wanting to have that closer sense of family that kind of wants to go there. There's also the fact that I am, and difficult, I don't mind it in some ways, but I am stuck at home a lot. And so the idea, and I haven't traveled since, well, 2019, and before then, I think maybe 2014, 2016, something like that. Like it's not something I do often, and I've never been there. I think actually I have been there, but just to the airport. Kind of yeah, I'll get fun what you do at an airport, I guess. But so I mean, I like we'd totally be there on the budget. So I mean, we wouldn't be. I mean, obviously get good meals, I guess, but well, I mean, some of them we could probably do at her place. But I mean, yeah, I guess there's a part of me that wants a vacation as well. And my spouse has said that the other sister, or possibly both of them, I don't know, has offered to help. I guess I feel like she's not entirely that rich, and her spouse is having some health problems, which actually she left a message on her phone a few weeks back, and she realizes that sometimes things don't get relayed. I try to, but I guess sometimes I have a reason or just don't. And with this case, it was kind of like my spouse, for whatever reason, I think because there was some mild health things going on, him, and then I don't know, I have my struggles and work, and I don't know. Anyway, I basically said that cup was full. And so I figured, well, he's not going to want to know about the sister partnering issues. Initially I felt like they weren't that close, but they're good enough with each other, I suppose. And so I hadn't been saying anything. And then how it happened was yesterday, the other sister works at a donation center. They sometimes have auctions, and we're supposed to get a lot of freebies, but feels both required to watch this auction site and kind of does it out of wanting sometimes. And we've gotten some good deals. In fact, we're going through something right now with a couple of musicians from Montreal. One of the things that we got was an accordion, and I think for only like $30, so it's like a really good accordion. And these two performers are coming to do shows here, but they don't want to travel with the instrument because they bought the accordion, so they made a post. Does anybody have one to rent out? And it looked like it was going along pretty well, and they were interested. And now they're seeing messages and not saying, when we're going through something like this, there is actually a part of me that says, well, we don't know what they're going through, but at the same time, like communication is helpful. And so basically, so when she went into the work, I guess she updated about. It was almost. I could say I feel slightly at fault for this. That my folks didn't already know about the one. It was like a double whammy. I mean, I think the local sisters partner. I don't think it's anything super compared to the other sister, super severe or whatever. But yeah, and shared about this and shared about wanting to possibly, has a surgery for it in a couple weeks and is thinking of going out the week before. And so, yeah, it's kind of like, so of course there's the expense. And I don't know, I feel like my spouse might feel like if the sister, one or both of them helped us get out there, that we can't pay back. I don't know what I feel. I mean, they are family. But I mean, my spouse also said, doesn't know whether the sister's offering to pay for us both to go out there or not, or to help us both get out there. I mean, we actually came into some money recently. Of course, it never lasts long, but just yesterday we came into some. I have some plans and a way for it. I'm pretty simple, with just the basics, but there's a couple other things perhaps I'm thinking. And so basically, the cost, my spouse thinks if we went, we'd be there for about a week. I thought maybe 4 or 5 days, I don't know. And not used to being away from home. And we do have a dog, and must be bored of the dog somewhere, there's the cost, there's the fact that I feel like a lot of times when that happens, the dogs are kind of ignored and kind of left to do whatever I don't know, it depends where, I guess. And really, we only have one nearby accessible option for us that I can think of. And I've been in there, because it's the groomers as well. And yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of what I noticed, like they might, advertise it being, the posh dog install and being like a dog spa, but it's not necessarily that. And yeah, and basically, which is ironic actually, just kind of, me and my spouse sold some things to a couple women the other day that apparently having a bit of I don't understand the details exactly, but a bit of a spa day. So when they left, the dog kept wanting to go with them. I said, no, you can't go to the spa. So, but anyway, yeah. So it's so we have, honestly, our neighbors right next door are an elderly couple, and they, I feel like slightly she maybe exaggerates as far as to like her husband has Alzheimer's and possibly deafness and instability with his balance, maybe even. But honestly, I mean, she's not free of those things herself. I wouldn't say, or I would say, and basically, they really like our dog, but I'm pretty sure that it would add complications, and I also, their house is not in great shape on the inside. That's actually one of the issues that we have with them when we tried to help that thing. There's a lady across the street down a little bit, and she's not at home very often, and it's hard to connect with, and I haven't been feeling 100% in general, so even though it's not far, I found myself emailing the one right next door. I guess because they're elderly, we actually have the number too, but I misplaced that, asking for the other one's number. and saying that, we get along with each other, and even saying why I was asking. So I hope to do um, because, this lady, she has a car, so anytime she leaves her house, unless she's in her front yard, but I mean, still not that nice out, she's going to her garage and going in the car and going where she's going. So it's hard to kind of connect with her, but she really likes her dog, and she has a cat, so she wouldn't be able to keep her dog in her place. She might not want to anyway, but she certainly goes enough to come to our place. I have slight worries that she's potentially a bit of a busybody, and it's not that I feel like she would steal anything from us, but she might take it upon herself to want to organize or something. And I mean, I don't want to necessarily tell her outright, don't touch anything, and make it seem like you think she would, even if I do. Because that's probably not good dog either. I mean, I guess at this point you don't necessarily really know how it goes, but it's kind of the trying to prepare for it, you know. I mean, I know my mother. Yeah, and I know that my mother has offered to. Well, she can't really watch the dog because, as far as I know, she still has one and is not good with other dogs. Ours would probably be fine, but I mean, so I don't. I mean, and hers is older, so I mean, I don't know if that means more aggressive or not. But the thing is that ours, I feel like ours requires, and my spouse does too. I mean, sometimes when it's bad weather, it's like, oh, just, I mean, you don't have a huge backyard. In fact, we have an enclosed deck. That's the benefit. We kind of built it that way for the dog. And so basically, but then my spouse always says, oh, nobody needs to exercise too, even after a long work day, And I don't know, I have anxiety and say health stuff, and it has been, icy and it's winter. So I mean, I just, I get into the routine, and I often let. I did join yesterday actually, and that was because I knew that. We were supposed to talk a little bit about the sister. I guess I was kind of hoping to run into this one neighbor, but then we kind of, once we got outside, we went kind of the other direction. So basically, so my mother could come here and do that, I suppose. I don't know if I trust her anymore necessarily. And she's had her own problems, including with my step. I mean, and yeah, some of the same struggles that the one next to us have, I feel, even though he's at least 10, if not 15 years younger. And so, when she was going through one particular thing where it was one of the rare times she asked me for a favor, and I said it really makes sense to try and neighbors, and see if they can help you. I mean, I can't get to you easily. You shouldn't leave right step, at home or bring money really necessarily, and for the various reasons. And I think she kind of agreed with that. Even, and I mean, at least I made a suggestion. And truth be told, she had actually tried neighbors a little bit with no not reaching anybody. So kind of like, well, try again. And I don't remember how they actually kind of solved that particular dilemma. But yeah, basically, I don't really feel like she can. Like, she can't come here. We can't get the dog there or leave it there. So this goes back to, I feel like, but then I feel like it's our only option. Like, part of me wonders if the sister is in another consciousness in which she might be able to read our minds or whatever. Like, maybe she might be starting to tell herself, this is causing a lot of people stress. And then what's her body going to do? I know you have to half an hour, like when people gauge it, but I realize that this kind of stuff, I guess it can be uncertain. And I mean, today, I mean, I've been up for an hour. I mean, heck, the truth be told, though, it's kind of like, sometimes not wanting to get out of bed because it just doesn't feel like having a purpose in life. I mean, I guess if we went and saw the sister, there'd be at least a few days of different and purpose. And so there are some maybe selfish reasons, which I honestly feel like the sister might somewhat understand. I honestly don't know if I want to be around the other sister. I mean, we saw them over the holidays, and just the once, and that took. I had to coach myself to do that actually, and I'm actually surprised that we even went out to the lunch that we went out to because as soon as I got in the car, the husband made a little smart comment and then said he was just joking when I thought he was just being rude. And so, but I never really did apologize either. Come to think of it, as some people don't. And so basically, but again, he's not in the same level of health that he was back then, and I mean, another point to that question would be the thing I have against that sister is one time we were asking for her to bring us to an event that she could also attend, and she said if we didn't hear from her later that night, then we would do it. But she contacted us the next day and said she was looking into it a little bit. She didn't think it was the type of event that really was catered to us or whatever, and this and that, and on the phone she happened to state about me, well, he just needs to get a job, and as if I don't know that. And I can't remember what I said at the time, but I know that I got worked up, and she was kind of going to let me and my spouse kind of handle it, and I guess she kind of panicked and didn't really want to, and then my spouse called back and said something that could be perceived as rude, and then she called back and did the same. And they have come to terms with it, but I'm still left with feeling judged, and I mean, like that wasn't exactly helpful of her. I mean, and she's only made one other suggestion, and she should have thought that one through before suggesting it. It hasn't really done much else. I mean, so, and the other thing, I guess, but it is. I mean, 8 hours at home when I'm supposed to be to work is often challenging. But I mean, the other thing, just to remembering it to add, is I've been alluding about my own health. So I guess we could say that a way to answer that is I'm kind of letting my health do. I mean, it's not that I'm not doing anything. I've had some blood tests. I went to the doctor who seems slightly ambivalent, or like sometimes he feels like it's too certainly not something that it could be. Um, but also, I've learned that through these what seem like very simple tests. In fact, I was really surprised when I went in, I guess last weekend, they took 5 vials. But I was talking with the lady that was doing it and didn't realize either that or they just take it once or twice and transfer it. I don't know. Anyway, you can tell a lot from those apparently. So I mean, part of me feels like I'm getting accurate answers, and but yet not really any. And so, and then yeah, I mean, if I had the certainty, the guarantee that certain things in life were going to improve, I'd care more. And it's hard for me, as much as that makes a lot of sense to me, it's hard for me to feel like I'm knowing that I could do more, but choosing not to because of circumstances. Yes. Well, I mean, truth of the matter is I sleep usually pretty good through the night, and I don't until kind of a early or late afternoon nap. I don't, unless I happen to doze off. I'm up, and sometimes I wish that I could just go to sleep more. But when you can't. And so, and even kind of acknowledging or kind of working through certain thoughts, the mind would ruminate as well. But yeah, I don't know. So I mean, it's like 9 o'clock, and I mean, I've got to get to 4:30, and it is a Friday, and sometimes I'm supposed to get to leave work early. Plus, if you know, if it's just too distracted with this stuff going on, I mean, you can usually kind of step away and be on the phone briefly or whatever. But I don't know if that will kind of mean get home earlier or not as well. But I don't know. I mean, I know I've been hemming and hawing about booking a dental appointment, but again, it's kind of like, I mean, was that? I have the coverage for it. I have to get to it by foot, and I don't know, like I said, kind of just pick up winter and being out and about in it. And then also, um, I guess I, I slightly fear bad news, but also at the same time kind of feel like I might already know it. I mean, truth be told, the type of cancer that I know of that she has, that the sister had, is mostly. And I have had, I don't know if they're just sores or what they are, but I feel like I have more going on in my system than, like I said, I can necessarily think of. And it seems very sporadic too. Like I woke up this morning and I thought, and I don't like the discomfort either. I thought, I'm not really noticing it now. It's like if it was inflammation, it went down or something. Um, so but I have one tooth I have noticed has a bigger chip than I realized it had, and I have another one. I'm surprised that it's not even loose, but that it's even still in. And actually, I think it was a month or two ago when I went, and of course that's been a month or two ago. She had said that it actually was still fixable. I sometimes think dentists do more than they have to, either for more money, or just because that's how they do it. So, I mean, there could be a need for that, but I haven't been able to talk myself into it. I gave you the best one I could give you. I'm sorry. I mean, and with the uncertainties of life, I have, I guess, uncertainties to the answer of that. Um, I wish that I had more family and closer connections like I used to in my 20s. And it's just kind of the way that life's kind of happened. And I mean, I'm thinking about actually someone who I know that passed away recently, and I wish we could kind of go back and make more time to be around each other. It's kind of I don't feel like there's a whole lot of people that I can reach out to, and that's hard. Um, I am waiting to get involved in a program that I actually initially was going to look at volunteering with, but there was a bit of a hiccup, and I'm hoping that once I make some connection, more connection there with somebody who's actually already doing it, I don't know, maybe I'll be able to figure it out and hopefully not have to do the rest of the process over again. And it was kind of a thing where I talked with her, I think Tuesday, the one kind of one of the coordinators about it, and she said, I said, it was still early in the week. Would it be this week or next week? And she said early next week. They have a shortage of volunteers, which is, I guess, also the thing. But part of me, like I managed through Wednesday and Thursday, but part of me is thinking I'd rather call and say, can we make it happen? Like they're not even just considering like local volunteers. They're kind of, at least within much of Canada, it sounds like. So I might be connecting with somebody that's not even local, but that's fine. I mean, for the most part, I mean, part of me would want, especially if the connection was, for, quite a long time with each other, then it might be a nice thing to be able to. I guess it might happen either way, though, I guess. But yeah, so basically, part of me is wondering if I should contact her and see if because one thing I would want to be, I mean, well, there's this stuff that we've been talking about, but I've made a little list of a couple other things I might want to talk about with the person when I connect. And yeah, I don't know how I do it, to be honest. And I think I'm getting burnt out from it more these days, where it's kind of like getting through the hours. So
really important.
Well, and the thing is like even if it's not sleeping, I feel like I get a lot of that. In fact, that's part of the problem is I feel like my life is too stagnant, which is one reason why I'm kind of wishing for a bit of adventure in some ways. Um, but I still don't have a lot of money and ability. And one of the things I wanted to do the other day, it kind of transpired in a very interesting way, was make a bucket list. But even telling myself, oh, it can be simple stuff. I'm struggling. The simple stuff feels like it's the stuff that I do pretty much daily anyway, and it doesn't feel like it's bucket list material. I don't know how to construct this list. And I guess there is a part of me that feels, what if I do, but struggle to do the things? Like I'm already kind of struggling to, like I've almost stopped setting goals because I hadn't been reaching them. And that's essentially what that is.
Goal that you can tackle for the day. It sounds like you've been wanting to connect with this volunteer program coordinator over the phone. Is that something that you do after this call or sometime later today?
Yeah, sometimes I get eager to want to get something done, but I need to give myself a bit of time in between. I could, but I mean, I'll either get we'll try for. I mean, part of me feels like they're gonna make it happen as quickly as they can, and that they already know that the people that are part of the program, are isolated and you know want things to move as quickly as they can. So there's a part of me that certainly feels like calling is not really necessary, but then I guess I'd be doing it because I want to see if I can move it along more. Yeah. Yeah. So but I mean, it is still only, heck, it's not even 9 o'clock yet. And that probably, well, it wouldn't, the initial step wouldn't take very long. And then I can't do what their roles are. That's up to them to do. And so then it would be, I mean, I'm already in limbo. I'm already, I feel that experience quite often. Doesn't make it easy necessarily, but so whether I call them or not call them, I'm still going to have to wait for an answer, and most likely. And other than that, I'm really not sure. I mean, sure, I could plan. What I might want to do on this trip, but we don't know if we're even going on it yet. And like I say, don't have a lot of money. So one thing that does come to mind is that I have a cousin who I've not really been close with in adulthood, kind of a little here and there, and she's in BC as well, but maybe not because it's a big place, maybe not super close to where we'd end up being. And honestly, I'm not sure if she would want to connect, and there's a part of me that's not sure I want to, but there's a part of me that would. And so if we ended up there, since that's such a rare thing, part of me, I'd at least want to try. And because this could be coming up soon, part of me feels give her a heads up. I know I actually did some creative writing that I'm pretty sure I sent her, as well as a little bit about having some uncertain health things going on. And I haven't heard anything back. It's true. And the creative writing thing was actually kind of from the perspective, and I think maybe I did it kind of to try and heal, which, but it's still essentially fiction, was kind of like getting to see each other, getting past our issue, having a nice time. Like I say, and I understand that, she's had, I mean, a lot of us have, but I guess people handle it differently. And of course, I don't know her very well as an adult, but she has had a hard life. Um, and so, on one side of things, I can understand if she wants to keep even her family circle very small, very local, and focus on that. I think that she actually did say in one of her emails quite a while back, and thinking about it now, I remember it and being a little offended by it. She's like, I got my life here. And getting rekindling or or getting close to people, regardless of who they are, is kind of one of those, um, I guess, uncertain things. And this is, it's hard because you feel like a lack of control. I've felt that fairly often in my 30s, especially to the point where I want some more senses of control, and I don't know how to get them.
For you to gain that sense of control for today, let's bring that focus for that specifically.
Yeah. It really feels like it's just not what's the word? It's just not. I'm struggling to find the word, but let's say fulfilling enough. The I have been void of a lot of opportunities in my life, of some other, I guess you could say. I mean, sure, I've got some of them, but basic needs in the sense of, I mean, sure, I visit online groups and I have some interactions there, but like in-person interactions, there's not been a lot of lately. And yeah, it kind of makes one feel nuts in some ways. I mean, yeah, and when things happen that it's hard. Things sometimes happen, and one, like, I'm not necessarily at fault for them happening, but yet I've kind of gotten the brunt of them, you know, and and in some ways lost a little bit of routines that I did have, and even like with this upcoming trip coming, like I think of the routines that I still have, and how well I manage kind of those being thrown out of whack for like 3 days to a week. Probably not a week. I don't think we could leave the dog for that long, and you know, right. Yeah.
We'll figure out and explore a plan that works for the both of you and your dog as by extension. Has your dog been taken out for a walk today yet?
Oh yeah, every morning we're supposed to be. Yeah, yeah. So. Oh, well, no, I don't usually go out doing stuff in the kitchen and not ready to go out in the world at that point. And sometimes in general. um, but yeah, and I mean, when you don't have a lot of money and you don't have necessarily a purpose of something to go out to, I mean, I want to get my bike out, but at the same time, I know that I'm going to need it a lot in July. I know that I have to do some sort of work to it so that to get it, you know, comfortable. And I mean, I know people are doing it, but my bike's not winterized. It'd be silly to do that when winter's supposed to be ending soon. And so essentially, I'm just waiting. Like I say, I came into a bit more money the other day, and I actually might even be able to fix it myself. It's got these wheel hubs, and I think it's not sparking or anything, but it's making it. Back when I was riding it last time, it was making a noise, and I think it's because it's rubbing on the wheels. And so I'm thinking, as much as it would look different, the bike, if I could just get those off, I don't think they need to be there, then I might be able to fix that myself. That rather wait till it's a bit warmer in the garage, and but then again, the garden's not out yet, so I could put it over top of the snow that's on top of plants, and not damage them. Okay. Yeah, and that's something I wish that I could do for others too. It's just that and my music career and that nothing just seems to be working out for me. And I feel like I could be of so much purpose. But
It's something to plan for the future.
yeah.
So I hope that whatever you do to prepare for that, it becomes more and more feasible, and that you could look at your bike after this call and see what is necessary to get that started before the biking season commences. Okay?
Okay,
And you're
thanks.
welcome to call later today.
Okay, have a good day. Okay, well that was mostly all right. Sorry, I didn't think I was going to reach someone that quickly. I was in another room, but no, these are the most less likely to be looked at. So it's true. I do have a couple things. That was a good point I made about the yard. And the last couple of days, when I look out, sure, we also live near a church, but we live near a school, and it's not been that busy. Like even throughout the day, there's students walking up and down the lane and stuff, and it's not really been. So it would be quieter. What is the weather supposed to be today? I know I looked. No, he'd be tempted to look at that, but we see how long it is. He might not. Oops, that's Duolingo. But I'm already ready to go downstairs and to do other things. I somewhat anticipate difficulties. Oh, look at this. Chance of flurries or rain showers. When? Early this morning. Yeah, it looks pretty blue sky and sunny, so I don't know. But maybe like before we were up. And then clearing this morning. Not super windy. +3 are Celsius. Wind chill -8. That's nothing here. See, the thing is, even if I got the bike ready, well, right now, it's a little messy, I guess. With this amount of winter that we have right now, maybe my bike doesn't have to be winterized. Depends what the word is. He's actually posted recently, I think, but he was letting his dog run around on rocks, possibly near water bodies of water. But chapstick. I could see possibly there being some sort of difficulty. I mean, we do actually have quite a bit of tools, surprisingly. And I don't have to do it in the garage, which is dark and cool. And I'd have to step outside and see. I have a feeling, like I say, sometimes I just seem to manage, but it is only about 9 o'clock. I thought it was at least 9:30 or 10. And so I have a feeling that I'm really going to want to do it. But the thing is, eventually the potholes are going to show themselves. I mean, people could hear complain about them often. Maybe not perhaps. But the thing of the matter is, after our winters, and with how often cars are driving on the road, and you can't catch them all, you know. But it's more so than that. The feeling of people that, when I get on the bike, and I know, which isn't often, and I try not to be a bad driver or whatever either, but when I get on the bike, it just feels so freeing. And especially if you got a bit of a slope on the road or whatever, and you just want to ride that. And unfortunately, you usually come to a cross street or an intersection, and you know, what we learn as kids sticks with us. I do use the brakes. I have at least one that works, but I often use my feet too. I don't know. I guess it feels more certain. And you think, well, the bike with my body on it has to stop. How do I stop your body? You put your feet down. That's one thing, right? But I also want to keep it in good working order. I guess it might be an example of. I also don't know the past couple days for the most part. I mean, look, I see a little bit of like a feels like that cough doesn't work well. A little bit of like um, sinuses, a little bit achy. Honestly, not that bad though. All that considered. I'm actually thinking of a really nice area, but the house is a humongous. It's next to quite a bit of water, so I have to cross a busy street too to get. But actually, sometimes that's easy. um, but it's so out in the open, it would probably be colder. But I could just ride around the streets around there. I just don't want to get myself lost. But I guess it could be an example. Sorry for the distractions, but there's something to glean from all of it, and maybe a bit more open than I wanted to be. But at the same time, I don't think I really said anything. Whatever. It's maybe an example of like the other anxiety I have about biking. Well, this is when I'm going somewhere, as the viewer goes. It's like, oh yeah, I had biking incidents, and you're getting me anxious already. And I apologize if that's the case. But anyway, not that you're here to hear it, but if it was to leave it somewhere, even locked, although we did recently get a pretty good lock, and people can usually tell when somebody is just being suspicious with a bike lock, especially if it is a good one and it takes a bit more to do. But just because they can tell, does that mean they're going to say something? You're worried about, I guess, somebody becoming aggressive towards you or whatever, right? So I don't know. But there's nowhere. Well, there is one thing I'd like to do with a little bit, and I can't believe we have to the best of our ability. He did say he got a little bit more, and he did let it go. But so I've got some money. Part of me thinks though I might need that while we're out, if we travel. And it's true, the weather's not that great. But well, first I have to get the bike ready. It really is something I prefer to buy online, but I want to use my money, and I don't have a credit card right now, and I don't really like buying things online. I could e-transfer it and give, but I don't know. I don't know. I wonder. I just have a wonder about something here, and the computer is the least glitchy in doing it. I may have sent him that thing about that thing, which when I think about it, I know he's going through lots of his own things. A lot of people are, though, to be honest. I'm just going to send a quick email here. Nobody's here at the moment. If the tab opens, here we go. But now, as far as the bikes, but honestly, the part of the business nearby is pretty busy at the moment too. Honestly, I don't really, and I know he said he can't do any favors, but he doesn't have to leave home for this. I know it feels raising my chest. We do have somebody just tuned in though, so I'm going to try and multitask here. If there's anything about the title that you or song, of course, you have that you'd like to talk about, put it in the comments. But what I do want to have, basically, that, well, but I'm thinking of a festival that comes up here where they actually, only for the past few years, of course, there was a pandemic within that, so that it didn't happen. Well, I think I already have it selected to show the live chat. Here we go. There we go. Here we go. There we go. I'd have to say what it was. He's okay with the wigs, so I might be okay with this, but I know it's that typing sound a little. Oh, just thinking this through for a moment, though, unfortunately, because it was looking so good. Oh, right, right, right. But aside from kind of flat ones, the other clientele would be this. Um, I'm worried that he might take that to mean, but he's got so many spells. Oh, Percy, is it this good to see me too? That's kind of odd. Anyway, well, I'll do this. Well, it's shopping society anyway. Technically, I have done it too, but well, I could too. Say I bought it for a friend, but I don't. Not have friends, and I don't have that much money. I was so glad to hear him say he's got lots. Doesn't want to buy more, but does the online purchasing. I will have to clarify with that customer before tomorrow. Like, seriously, don't come 10 hours. 3 is a good number at a time. I think that's one reason, aside from that they'd already been down there for a little while, that they didn't stay. Aside from maybe having other things they wanted to do, is realizing that you can only have so many people down there with the stuff. and you probably would get that. Okay, got a little bit long worded. If I look back at it, I might get longer. I think I maybe repeated myself a little bit, but I think that I don't know. I don't know how his eyes are, so that's a good size. Okay. I don't know if I thought to send it before. Feel like I was seeing it the other day, but I do have at least one person I can ask for this favor, and then I can just say that. Well, I guess we have to see what he says, but they say that's probably the best, and then I can think about how. And as far as ever coming across it, might not be entirely surprised. Might not be entirely surprised. I took something I bought. But like I say, though, there is also the whole thought about needing the money in case we go on this trip. I mean, the dog had just got into the coach. I hadn't been down there very long for the day yet, and here I am, and I've been up here for an hour. But it's true that I know it's hard for me these days lately, and some people might be able to relate to that. But I guess it's true that if I wait, sorry, the lighting's suddenly not great, but it's not cloudy outside. If I wait a couple weeks more, we'll know what we're doing. Although I don't know. I don't know if we plan to go there after her surgery. He isn't quick to reply to emails. I think I'll have to watch this video back. I mean, sometimes I do, but there's some current happenings that I need to not that I won't just have thoughts, but I want to kind of revisit some of these. As far as, but yeah, I don't know if I ever fully said, and we do have to just turn this and get to move a little bit closer here. As far as and then they go. Ew, okay. As far as the bike thing, yeah. So what I was trying to say, I don't know if I fully said, was that with this festival, they actually have, although some of them say, well, you know what, you're using this area at your own risk. And again, it's not wanting confrontation. I think that it's usually pretty safe there, though, because they do know most people know it's monitored, whether they feel it's monitored well or not. And even though you get all kinds of characters there, I think that it's heck, I wonder if I should post the what I need, but I'd feel a little bit awkward. But anyway, basically, but it is it's not only do you lock your bikes up, but like I say, there's volunteers there during the festival, so it feels better. But as far as just going for rides, like I say, it's going to be my main mode of transportation for the almost 2 weeks, and I will be using it a lot. And especially if I can fix the bike myself, but also if I don't, I don't want to I don't want to be jinxing it or whatever, but if I get into, even though, like I say, in the city with around, a lot of traffic and people, it can be a bit more challenging, I guess, but, or I don't know. And as far as bike trails, people might suggest that. I might be even less comfortable doing that because the majority of drivers in that, I don't want it to sound like I'm a careless biker and I'm not looking as well. Part of me is ambivalent, I suppose, but no, but I mean, you can't catch everything. You have to. Traffic needs to be looking too, right? And so, which I don't think I'm supposed to do, but so, but with bike lanes or bike lanes, it's very inconsistent. In my neighborhood, I don't feel like there's many. I can almost envision one, but I can't quite. But as far as bike trails, as a few seconds. Oh, I'm not a biker. I was surprised my step was. As far as bike trails, I guess I just worry. Well, sometimes the ground isn't very flat, whether it's sticks or roots. And I guess my bike might be equipped for that, but I honestly feel like that would actually probably be risking my bike a bit more than I would like. But also, other bikes, Britain, other bikes are going to be healthy knees. That's a weird Duolingo name. Other bikes are going to be zipping down there and coming up behind you, and more likely. And in fact, there's a bike path along the water, but again, out in the open. It's not like it's super warm yet. In which case, it's kind of nice to have that breeze. I mean, I could dress well, but I don't want to overdress, and it's harder to bike if you're wearing a lot, I suppose. But yeah, there's a trail there, but I think it's all gravel. I don't really like to ride my bike on gravel. And that isn't entirely because when I was a kid, I fell on gravel and got a stone. I hate to be graphic, and it's not as bad as it may sound. I mean, I think we got most of it out, and we took care of it pretty easily. I didn't have to have any surgery or whatever, but got a stone in my knee, stony knee. But no, it's just that the bumpiness of it. It's gonna make you do what Ron Rich did. We're all gonna do sort of a bumpy ride. And that's right, it is for us. But and they're going in May, so this is a little bit before they go. But anyway, so I don't know, but there is this thought that I keep having that as much as I feel I will likely be all fine and good to go for July. I did finally send out the email, even though my project is not complete. I don't think it is anyway. I really need to spend some time looking at it. I mean, I don't know why the lighting's so weird in this room at the moment, but I mean, we think keeping it simple. Maybe I mean, if it's music, it's fairly easy to remember and follow the music or whatever. But part of me feels like keep it short. People aren't paying a lot of money at the festival to see shows. Cumulatively, they are though. But heck, you know what? I could do a really great 45 minutes. And I'm going to feel mixed depending on, well, I'm going to feel iffy if I don't get the response that I hope I get, but I hope I get it. I think that I mentioned that. But as far as the biking, that's kind of the other thing. It's kind of like, so I feel like I could likely make it till then, and then I would need it. May or may not need to go out to a store that may or may not be super duper close. And I may or may, but I'm going to wait on that, I think, a couple of weeks. And I may or may not, as hard as that will be. There was something else that I almost thought I might need to go to. Aside from buying a homeless person a beverage, I still need to do that. I just haven't gotten out past few days with the health and the weather, and it's on my last 20, but then I came into some money. But which reminds me, actually, it's not still open. That's weird. She may or may not be at work a lot right now because of Miles, huh? A lot of YouTube links here. I'm gonna have to look at that. I'm surprised he has. Oh, right. That's just the other day. I was looking at Nature Sounds thinking, we did have to stay at the sisters or somebody's relatives. You know, my tinnitus and such, I'm used to, and it gets me in the mode, and I'm in the habit of it. I tend to need to sleep with a sleep track, which would keep other people up. And I mean, I'm not a jerk, you know. I may not hugely like a couple of them, but so the equivalent would be like, hopefully it'd be nice enough out to have the window open, and hopefully hear some sounds that would hopefully not keep us awake. I mean, people could say headphones or earbuds. Honestly, I don't really feel like those really keep the sound up very much, and they're not very easy to sleep in. So, I mean, this person is annoying me and not really being a great communicator, but she has since led on to that, you know, she's going through something that somewhat excuses it, I guess. I mean, I could still have. Well, no, because I wouldn't want to type the washroom. So we just had someone tune in. I am going to be wrapping up soon, but yeah. So I'm trying to talk myself into biking, and I've still a lot of thoughts I don't really want to repeat. But the one that I'm still not sure if I've expressed yet, actually, as the viewer goes, is yeah, like I guess just this thing about that that we don't know. Tomorrow's not promised. I mean, and you never know. Things can be very unexpected. You know, can take their life or whatever, like you know, like you can pass away somehow. But the thing of the matter is that um, let me go downstairs to that playing. If I don't get my bike ready and get on it in the next few days, even though my worries and such make sense, if I talking about bucket lists, you know, I mean, like I usually don't have money. I don't do, but it's so not easy sometimes. But if I don't do the things that I at least somewhat want to do, some I'm not thinking of a lot, but I'm thinking of at least a couple. Biking I've obviously done in my life. Um, the other thing, not in this way, and mostly not. Um, I guess I may not get to. You know, the beyond might be thinking he wants it or he doesn't, but at the same time, understand challenges, challenging challenges, or the challenges. What I was trying to say. Um, it's only 9:30 though, so you know it's kind of what they would do in their role where I called, but it's also they're often not good at helping you brainstorm. I mean, they don't often, unless I've talked to you a few times, know you that well. And I don't know, but one thing that does seem to be I almost want to make that stand out more. Yeah, with the business account, I think you may or may not be able to delete a whole thing, but you can't just delete one. Like I sent our phone number through, and she hasn't tried to call. You'd think that'd be quicker, but well, maybe not. It depends. I don't know. But point of the matter is that yeah, and you know the feeling of having wheels when you don't drive. And yeah, and yeah, I really think our neighbors should be both of them, perhaps, but then they wouldn't be physically able enough to maneuver it, probably. But is a very nice feeling, a very lovely feeling. I must Pete had been sorry about it. Or even though that cold this morning. So I could do that. I hate to be impatient. She said early next week. It is only 3 days away, but it's 3 days away. I'd have a preference of it being today. Some of the thoughts that I already mentioned against it are hindering me. I'd really love to just play this out about the bike, and then also kind of wanted to have a private. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. And on weekends, the maps get pushed up. Still like to have them, but it's more in the afternoon. Yeah. It would have been great, but you know what? Yesterday was, even though, only 2 out of the 6 played, yesterday was a good example of being able to do it myself. So I can let him have this one. I don't think we're at the same wavelength. I'm more similar to them, but anyway, yeah. But okay, gonna wrap this up. Take care.